a major cause of most of the Baroda artists. Maybe if you take the example of 2002 pogrom, what we call the genocidal act of Narendra Modi or whoever, like there's a strong sense of guilt from these artists, most of the Baroda-based artists, to be a part of the critical force which condemns the pogrom. At the same time, they can't do much. They are not able to do much with to socially activate the kind of thing. So it's almost similar to what the Germans felt, the true Germans felt after the Nazi defeat after the Second World War. So they also were living by the sense of guilt, maybe kind of Oedipal guilt that they killed their father. They considered Hitler as their father, but at the same time they had this problem with Hitler. So in the same way, like there's a protective cover of the political forces in Gujarat, and the Baroda is a part of Gujarat. And all you guys, you live there and you have a sense of protection there. You have a kind of a cool life, but at the same time you want to criticize the kind of the coolness or the kind of protection that you have. So I think that sense of guilt is being played out in each and every image that you see in your works, maybe consciously or subconsciously, I would put it in that way. At the same time, this guilt is coming as an image of fossilizing. You are finding a cover. So as Santosh said, there is a kind of pushing into a nostalgia, so that you are not responsible for it, but at the same time, like you can look at it, analyze it, you can do carbon dating and find out, even if 2002 is not so far behind our historical time. So I think how far that, it became a big preamble, but the question is like how far that the kind of guilt works in you as a killer of your own father, or a kind of protective figure. Seeing that the art history department is going headless these days in the Baroda Finance faculty,
I will just rephrase the question that you have said, raised in a different way. I mean, you also talk about how important the political is in your work and your earlier association with the Kerala Radicals, and of course, in your whatever.
No, I was just saying that, like, they were very important in a certain sense.
Yeah.
At level of this. But that's also a kind of love-hate relationship. It's not a straightforward relationship.
So where do you look at the political in your work?
See, right now, I'm coming to that. That's what I feel.
I don't want to know the political of it. I want to know about the guilt part of it. That guilt is kind of shared by all of us. Maybe all of us who are standing here. The social guilt. So that sense of guilt, that's what I'm seeing. But it's really being played out even by historically referring certain major work of art in the art history. You can see that. So I would like you to talk about the guilt. I'm not saying that you should talk. You should have the guilt, but you can explain it.
It's there, but the thing is, it's an ongoing process. It's not like something that the answers are already given there. And one can choose. There's not even a question of a choice. Actually, you're saying that one is completely in it and one wants to look at it. That is the situation. So it's something that you have to deal with. That's it. And you try to deal with it. That's all.
But do you have any direct close affiliation with the kind of pogrom or genocide that happened during the 2002? Because most of the artists, like let's say B.V. Suresh, whether it be Vasudevan, Artista Mitra, Pravit Roy, all those faculty guys and who are standing outside, they have this preoccupation with this, and I think they are guilt-ridden. They are not free of this thing. They are not critical directly. I would say that they are apolitical in that sense.
Johnny, your questions are very relevant, but somewhere, rather than just shifting to the space of pure ideology, somewhere we have to shift the discussion to the way in which it deals with language. I think that's also important. So this is the problem I have with the way in which the political always becomes a kind of instrument, aesthetic becomes instrumentalized in this wider engagement with pure ideology.
But why is it also with the Baroda artists have got in this particular issue to focus? They can't get out of the aesthetics.
Certainly not, but I think it's important that we also keep the response in line with the works which are on display here.
See, Johnny, I just want to say one thing. You are talking about Nazi Germany. German artists are still coming to terms with that.
That is what they are
something that one can just readily say, oh, this is over, and let's start doing this. That's not a thing.
I think one problem I think is that we have a ready-made what passes is all about, and the program is the moment of passing. Passing operates in multiple levels and layers in society. That I think one of the aspects that we try to explore, according to me, is that the pervasiveness of power, especially that form, that particular work. So there is a rhizomatic character of power. It's not that a single point power operates and we can capture in that power, everything will change. So I think he tried to engage with the question of political in terms of knowledge and power. The way in power operates in our everyday life. The solitude is such a work for me.
Yeah. I just want to take up where you left it, is the everyday aspect of it. But in your work, Satya, I really don't see the everyday. It's almost like some kind of sublime space.
Yeah.
Which is lifted out of the world of the mundane.
Yeah.
I was very intrigued to know in your related with the comment that you made about your engagement with the everyday. How do you look at the everyday?
No, that was slightly earlier. That was in context to what No, but see, I think I just want to take up from what Janu was saying. I think there's an element of abjection in all my work, and that is itself is a very political thing. The abject body. That's a very politicized body actually. You cannot say that that is not.
But that is always when he is saying that the guilt we should not take it in the literal sense, what he is trying to say.
No, it's at the level of language. It's a guilt at the level of language. But
if you are talking about narrative, the crisis of narrative, actually there is a point actually he is making there that the guilt is not in the literal sense actually works there. That a language that is not able to cope up with the newer situations. And I think that's what I understood actually, that what is, so that guilt should not be taken into in a very literal sense.
But if I refer back one of your earlier works, maybe last year, the man whom you what was the title of that? It had a funny title that had a misinterpretation by someone.
yeah.
Maybe Shanti would be able to say anyway, you see a man of this moment, maybe this moment, like he's vomiting. You can see that it's almost a kind of the individual abjection.
That is what I'm going to actually. I feel that that is what all my works are leading me to. It's a kind of abjection. The body as a very abstract object. So that's what is happening now. That's how I deal with the political.
It's also like history affects you physically. It's not like intellectually in that. The bodily affection of how that aspect of history experienced by the body. I think it is much more than a solution and how you resolve it. I think that's the way in which actually the fragmentation is what works.
I think that's the thing as you can see, I think he's still unresolved because the senior baronics are resolved about it, or we should keep
I don't think that way. I think there are a lot of one way of looking at it. I think that's the one way of looking at it because we have very detailed ideas about resolvement. I think there are gaps, there are ruptures, there are lacunas. So maybe they claim, I don't know who claim, but I think that, but if you carefully look at their work, I can see that lacuna, there is a vacuum, there is something that's still not resolved. Not in the linguistic terms I'm saying, but in terms of semantic terms, there are something that is not in that way resolved. The reason there is a search for newer linguistic idiom, search for newer medium. So one can say it is simply a matter of artistic concern, but it is also a matter of philosophical concern. I cannot simply say that all of them are actually claiming that they can resolve.
You also mentioned, Satya, that since you were experimenting with painting this particular way, this kind of iconography that you deal with, you almost explore the limits of the medium. And you also feel kind of compelled to perhaps go beyond painting and try out some other medium?
Nowadays, because while I was working course each work generates more work. So, but I was beginning to feel that some works are better dealt with in other mediums. So actually it's painting itself that is taking me there. So that's what I was meaning by